Brutalism is not an easy form of architecture to love. It's not a kind of lovable word. It's not really doesn't really sound like it's gonna be a date movie.
Oh, depends on what kind of relationship you have, I think. So in this film, Adrian Brody plays this architect Laszlo Toth who survived the Holocaust and makes his way to America to start a new life. Gets a job at a Pennsylvanian furniture store with his cousin, but they're making really homely furniture there, and he's making these kind of experimental metal, cold pieces. Eventually he comes into the acquaintance of Guy Pearce's character, whose name is like hilariously evil and I can never remember. I think it's like Harrison von Lee Buren. Like it sounds like he should have a twirly mustache, who commissions him to build this sprawling estate in honor of his mother called the Institute. But what Brady Corbet and his wife, Mona Fassvold, who wrote the script with him, were interested in was the way that post-war architecture reflected post-war psychology. There was like a poeticism to the fact that the materials that were developed for life during war were then repurposed.
Did you enjoy this movie?
I loved it, but I wouldn't say it's an enjoyable movie. It's like 3.5 hours. There's a baked-in 15-minute intermission. I truly did not know what direction it was going to take at any moment. And I feel like that's why I want to see films.
Did not realize these images were still available, much less of any consequence. May I keep these?
Of course you may. And very artistic.
He had a very bankable star in Adrian Brody and, of course, another in Guy Pearce. Does that make a difference? Does that make it easier to get it made, easier to get it financed, easier to get people to go and see it?
I don't know how much of a pull stars like Adrian Brody have. He hasn't really been in a massive film in quite a while. He's been in some like cult movies. He was in all the Wes Andersons. But I feel like the last time everyone was talking about Adrian Brody was for The Pianist when he won the Oscar. He's kind of like cruised since then, made interesting movies, but it's been a long time since his last moment.
Let's talk about Guy Pearce. He's well known to Australians for doing everything from soapies to Priscilla. But he's crafted a really interesting career for himself, hasn't he, internationally?
Yeah, he's so sensational in this. I would hope that he takes home the Oscar because it's his first time he's ever been nominated, which is so crazy considering the career that he's had. From the moment he walks onto the screen, he is in that character. You don't have to adjust to anything. He just he plays that role so well that he kind of threatens to steal the movie from Adrian Brody. He's a very interesting villain because at the beginning you kind of think he's this benevolent guy that's taking Adrian Brody's character under his wing, he's giving him opportunities, and it just the layers of evil slowly peel back, and at the end you're just fuming about how evil this dude is and how he swindled you into thinking that he was a great guy.
We all know that winners of Oscars are chosen for many reasons other than just the quality of the film. There are lots of factors at play in which films and which actors win awards at the big ceremonies. Why do you think this one is a contender for Best Picture?
I mean, the Golden Globes aren't the most reliable bellwether for who's going to win the Oscars, but it did win the Best Drama. Brady Corbet made an amazing speech campaigning for directors to get the final cut. And I feel across all award shows in this past year, you've had these really young, kind of angry, creative people use their moment to demand better by their industry.
Final cut tie break goes to the director. That's sort of a controversial statement. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be controversial at all.
And I just think that that's kind of a sentiment that everyone can get behind, is these artists that are standing up for themselves. I just admire the gall and the guts of it all. Like Brady Corbet said himself in his Golden Globes acceptance speech that no one was asking for a 3.5-hour movie on brutalism. And the fact that he got it off the ground, filmed this decade-spanning thing for under $10 million is just like mind-boggling to me. And I think that that should be celebrated. It's basically Brady Corbet making a movie about how hard it is to make movies. And I think the Van Buren character is like the film industry to him.